Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Jillian.
And we've been married for 6 years now.
Yeah.
Almost 7, right?
Almost 6.
Almost 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our story is featured in Rhonda's new book,
Real Life Romance.
Real Life Romance. And we're here to answer a few questions. So what's the first question?
The first question is, how did you meet?
So I had some friends who were like, hey, there's this girl that you should talk to because she's pretty cute and nice. And so I went to the church that she was going to and met her there. And that's the real story.
But I remember seeing him at the camp that he worked at, which is now where we live. And I kind of talked to Rhonda a little bit more about it. But basically, I saw him with another girl and I was like, he's cute. And then I officially met him at the Halloween party the day after church.
No, it was that night.
The evening?
Is when the Halloween party was. But we met during church.
I remember meeting him at the party.
Mm-hmm. Shows how much he remembers me.
Yeah, you really stuck out in my mind.
Yeah, apparently.
When did we start dating?
That's a complicated question because I never really understood, are they dating? Are they not dating? Is it exclusive? I didn't get it. So we met up and went on kind of dates where we just would go and hang out and go to different places and do different things. But I don't know if that qualifies as dating or
He didn't hold my hand or kiss me. He would open the door for me if we were anywhere specific and it was the two of us. He would definitely open the door for me and he would pay for movie tickets for me and my friend. But
I was single and loaded, so why not?
Mostly, I remember that he was holding my hand. That was the first time we kind of really were holding hands, and he was kind of doing it in a sly way. And he said, I'm gonna ask your dad if I could date you. But he had told me months before that his next girlfriend was going to be his wife. So on the inside, when he said he was gonna ask my dad if he could date me, he was like, oh! But on the outside, I was like, yeah, that's cool. And the next day, we went to Pinecrest and we took a walk. And he was holding my hand, for real, holding my hand. And I was like, what's happening? And he was like, yeah, I asked your dad for permission to date you. And it was like, oh, so you're my boyfriend.
That made sense to me.
But we were mostly friends for the longest time.
It was 8 months of sort of dating friendship before we even...
So we didn't have the pressure of physical and saying I love you and doing all that stuff that just builds on top of each other, and then you're stuck in a lust relationship instead of true friendship, love based on Christ.
Knowing the person you're dating rather than just, making out all the time.
Yeah, which we get to do now.
You don't talk when you make out. It just doesn't happen.
Anyway. Oh, hi, Buttercup. A fun romantic memory.
So, for me, the one I think of is when she was supposed to go on this months-long trip to Colorado and do all this culinary school, and she was going to be gone forever. And this was, 2 months after we'd started officially dating and holding hands and stuff. And so she was supposed to leave, and then their car basically exploded on the engine and all sorts of problems. And she came back to her house and was like, I'm not going for another, several weeks. So I was like, cool, you should come hang up in the mountains. And we went on this drive out some back roads and watched a pretty sunset. And it was I had said goodbye to her thinking she was going to be gone. And then she was back and we got to hang out more. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. But I didn't tell her that because I still did feel bad that she wasn't going on her trip she was so excited for.
And that's the most romantic thing, was that I got to stay with you.
I was super excited to have you back around. I thought you were going to be gone. It was that, you say goodbye to someone and then they're back. You're just like, this is so amazing.
My favorite romantic story, it's a little bit in the book, was when Nate asked me to marry him. It wasn't a big show. It was just the two of us because that's what a relationship is. And it was definitely intimate of being at the beach and just being together. And that was the first time he was able to say, I love you. And it wasn't just to say it. It was to prove for the rest of my life, I want to love you. And that was our first kiss.
Yeah, well, so I asked her if she would marry me. She didn't even say yes. She kissed me first. And there was oh yes, I'll marry you. So apparently it was a test, like, okay, you better do good on this kiss, because otherwise, whoop, we're all done here.
So I kissed him and then I said yes, and
Yeah.
we've been working on our kissing ever since.
I think I'm pretty good at it.
What influence does your faith have on your relationship?
It has every influence, because even though Jillian is the most important person to me, my faith and relationship with God is still more important than that. And that's what defines how we work out arguments, how we make decisions in our family, how we deal with trying and hard times when they come along. Because if I try to make her the most important thing in my life, I depend on her for things that I need to be depending on God to do in my life.
Yeah. I think it makes it, when we do have a big fight, or when our son was born with a very special condition, it wasn't like, is Nate going to leave me now? Or am I going to have to think about what it would be like as a single mom? We never have to say that or think that, because the D word, divorce, is never in our vocabulary. It's, we're going to work on this and grow through this because of Christ and what he's done for us, his mercy and his forgiveness. We live that out with each other.
Mm-hmm. It's not always easy.
It's not easy.
It's messy.
We're still sinners, but
people are messy.
Yeah.
Especially little boys.
What is your favorite love song?
So my favorite love song that I've been listening to a bunch lately is Lead Me by Sanctus Real. And it's from the perspective of a dad and husband talking about how he needs to lead his family. He needs to be the strong hand to, in a loving way, to guide and hold his family up. And the realization that he cannot do that on his own. The realization that he needs God in his life, and he needs to, in essence, lean on God and let God lead him so that he can lead his family. And it's just encouraging and challenging both at the same time.
Stephen Curtis Chapman?
That's your song.
Mine is the Stephen Curtis Chapman song, I Will Be Here. Kind of like what I was saying earlier, that no matter what trials come, and obviously our main love story of how we began is in Rhonda's book, but that's not where it ends, and it's not happily ever after. At the end, it's, there are going to be more trials and there's going to be more hardships, but I will be here with you through them all, because Christ is going to be with us through everything that we go through. And it just, the love story definitely takes you through the beginning of all the touchy-feelies to the end of, this was hard and this is us now, but it's not going to be over until death do we part.
Yep.
So Rhonda's book is amazing, and I just love seeing how God works through every single relationship. Once you give your whole life to him, he redeems everybody, and your love story is just such a testimony to bring him glory.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for watching, and check out Rhonda's book if you can.
Bye-bye.